in the world.
friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Let's get this audio out of here. There we go. Welcome to Monday Night Q&A. We're gonna work on the Toothfairy 2 some more. Hopefully get some actual work done on it tonight. And you guys can fill up the chat with your questions. If you want to talk directly to me, type CiottiFPV in your chat comment and it'll light up an orange for me, like you see here from these lovely people that have already been doing it. If you don't type CiottiFPV, I'm going to assume that you're talking to each other, which you should do. because lots of great people in the chat. You're going to love hanging out here. And you're going to love my nuts. We're also going to do a little bit of mailbag, I think, right? Yeah, you guys can check out my mailbag later. And yeah, we'll hang out. What's up, people? Airwave FPV was first, Family Guy was next, Dusty Joe, Slide By Chomper FPV, Frank Nicholas, Jerome Weinberg, Grizz FPV, Paul McDonald, Free Lojo, King Turkey, B-Man, Dan636, Athix, Danzilla the Terrible, Free Lojo again, B-Man again, Quadzimoto, Cool Cat, Glenn Burnett, Dan Richmond, 661, Danzilla the Terrible. If you want the gangly man to say your name, gotta come in early, gotta say something in the chat. The folks that have tagged me so far, Free Lojo, thanks for dropping the link to Patreon. CMYK says yo, Athix says the Octo is in. Demo FPV says, hey, CiottiFPV and Collective. Glenn Burnett says, holy haircut, gangly man. No, I just, I haven't showered in a couple days, so I put water in my hair and it to calm it down, because it was just a hot mess. Those of you that were in the Gran Turismo 7 stream from an hour or two ago, you'll know. It was, this whole side of my head was a lot like this. It's a lot like that. Zach Lithimer says, hello for a second time. How'd the Mustang sound with the exhaust? I ducked out for a minute. It sounded better and better as the exhausts got more gnarly, and the racing exhaust sounded pretty cool. So yeah. Gran Turismo 7 GT350R, the exhaust to have, full racing. $10,000, but, you know, sounds good. Good pops, good bangs. Nice anger level. Denzel the Terrible says, good to see you. And just like that, we're caught up on chat. All right, so this is my full-time job. If you would like to see these live streams continue and or just support the gangliest gangly of all gangly ganglies, head on over to CiottiFPV.com, and yeah, you'll see what to do. If you want to punch a homophobe in the face, head on over to my Instagram, check out my stories. This scumbag was talking shit to Izzy, and then Bot and I decided to thrash on them. And we're trying to get enough people to report them for either having all pictures of marijuana plants on their page, which is against YouTube's or Instagram's guidelines, or hate speech, which is what they were doing to Izzy. So yeah, head on over there. The person's name is there. Hit the go to their profile, hit the block or ban or whatever the hell it is. Report. Hit the report button and report them for either illegal substances or hate speech. And let's get this scumbag off of Instagram. You know, I'm sure they'll just create another account, but you know, being a complete hate-filled, hate-spewing monster is just not okay. And yeah, I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of people being awful on the internet. So, you know what? Let's at least make their life a little bit worse today, because they certainly made someone else's life worse. And that's just not, you know, that's just unacceptable. So let's do something instead of doing nothing, you know? Bot Grinder also posted the person's other account. So if you wanna report both of their accounts, you can. That's up to you. But yeah, do something. Don't do nothing. You know, when people act horrible and just attack other people for no reason, there needs to be some sort of punishment. And unfortunately, we can't punish them much, but we can do something. So let's do something. Grizz FPV says, I'm being pulled to the glide. Hope it will be my last, bro. Very cool. Grizz contacted me last week. He's like, yo, I'm breaking mad frames. What should I get? And I was like, glide. You'll only break arms. It'll be great. You'll love it. Seneca's in the house. That's Synologies. He says, under the microscope now. Seneca is a local pilot who has a hot air station, and with the fancy microphone, great microscope setup. And I gave Patrick to give to him a couple of Talons that had failed. Get this. So he repaired both of them. One of them, I think one of them was a blown up 5-volt regulator. We're used to that. The other one was a blown up F7 processor, which is kind of interesting. I can't say that I've ever, I can't say that it was ever a, I've ever noticed the main processor failing on one of these boards. It always seems to be 5-volt regulators. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. Luckily I managed to score a whole bunch of Talons at some point, so I'm like loaded up on Talons. So I told Patrick and Seneca, if they want or need either one of those 2 Talons, they're all theirs. So that was cool. Cool Cat says, who decides what hate speech is? Basically society, right? Like society decides what hate speech is. That's kind of the way that, you know, it's always been, and that works really well. You know, if enough people say that, although, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious what hate speech is, you know. It's a pretty easy thing to kind of suss out. And yeah, I mean, if you really want to like kind of dig into that, the easiest way to do so is open up an incognito window, so none of your previous search history is involved in the Google search that you're about to do, and just do a couple of Google searches. Spend 10 minutes reading and learning on Google, and you can pretty easily kind of figure that out. So yeah. To me, you know, hate speech and hate crimes are kind of one and the same. You know, hate speech, in my opinion at least, if said, it's kind of nuts, right? Like, it's called hate speech on the internet, but it's called a hate crime in person. It's a slippery slope. Let's get off that topic though, and we'll talk about FPV. Kevin Sumner says, good evening. All right, so let's dive straight on into my... What if I come back from that one day and I'm just giving you guys the old bat wing right in the camera? I won't do that to you guys. Look at that. That's what $200+ in stick ends looks like, friends. Thumbgrippies.com hooked this up. I let them know about the stick and dick ends project, or whatever you want to call it, that we're working on here. And they said, and I said, you know, hey, I want to buy one of every of your thumb grips, and I also need to buy them in M3 and M4, which is going to be super expensive. And I was like, you know, can you do anything for me? And they said, yeah, we'll give you 50% off, which is super generous, man. Super, super, super generous. So support thumbgrippies.com, especially if you're not a patron and you're not looking to get in on the stick end project, and maybe you just, you know, want to know. If you don't know what the stick end project is, if you're a patron, you get access to my Discord channel. Over on the Discord channel, there is a Patreon only channel called, how many times can I say channel? Called Dick Ends. In Dick Ends, what I'm doing is, so it used to be here, it used to be a rolling thing, but I've changed it. So if you want to get in on this, you've got to pay your way in. I didn't realize at first I didn't realize there were so many stick ends out there, but my God, there's a lot. So it's going to cost me a fortune to put this kit together, but the idea is I'm putting a kit together with one of every single stick end that exists in both M3 and M4. If you want to get in on this, You got to pay your way into it. $1. If you pay $1, you'll get in. Not haircut. It's just I just put water in my hair because it was unruly. So yeah, you got to pay $1 to get in. That'll get you on the list. The more you pay in, the higher you are on the list. For example, somebody that really is looking to support me because they joined one of my higher Patreon tiers, which was super generous, but they also threw $100 in to the Stick End Fund. They're going to be on, I mean, unless somebody throws $101 in, they're going to be on top of the list. On Discord, his name is Skyblock is Pog. So yeah, Skyblock is Pog. He is pretty much going to be guaranteed, you know, to be the first person that the M4 stick package of all the stick ends goes to. He's going to spend as little time as possible, and I'm hoping everybody can figure it out in like a week. And then figure out which one is his favorite. Maybe it's this Specimen Pinch Sticks M4. Maybe it's these. And then he puts the kit back together. I send him the address of the next person, and then it gets sent to the next person. And then, yeah, we just work right down the list from the people that paid the most to the people that paid the least. And once the kits, because there'll be an M3 kit and an M4 kit, once the kits hit the end of the list of people that have paid into it, I guess I'll start hitting up the top patrons who didn't pay into it and just see if they're interested in getting the you know, either the M3 or the M4 kit, and we'll just work our way through that as well. So yeah, that's how it's working. You got to pay at least $1 to get on the list. QX7 is M4, Remy Tim. Yeah, so that's how it works. One of every stick end. Shout out to thumbgrippies.com. They gave me a hell of a discount on these. Look at these all. Here, hold on. I'll show you guys one of each of the thumb grippies over on the bench cam. Setting them up over there right now. These in there yet? Yeah, these are in there. Q-tips. There's Q-tips. These ones are really big. That's what she said. These mushrooms, they're huge. Mushrooms are massive. There you guys go. There's one of each. They're really nice looking, man. The little spikies that you can kind of see there are very like small, and they should work really good. Let's see if Logitech wants to make a camera that works. No interest in being a camera, Logitech? You're gonna be a fucking potato instead? Okay. Well, you know, I tried. So yeah, these are really cool. I gotta separate these out into M3 and M4, and then I'll put them in the little bags, and we'll be one step closer. I think I'm gonna get the 533, all of the 533 stick ends next. And then, I don't know, one of the things that we're doing in that Discord text channel is I'm asking you guys if you see any stick ends while you're shopping the internet, you can add them in there. You know, I'm just going, like, I've already ordered all of the stick ends from GetFPV, Pyrodrone, and RDQ, I think. So any of the stick ends that are on those three sites, I don't really need to know about. But, I mean, to be honest, just any stick ends that you know that you find on the internet, throw them in that text channel, and I'll make sure that if I don't have them, that I get them. And that way these kits will be complete, and we'll have one of every. Part 2 of Mailbag and the final part of Mailbag, I don't know if these are like out yet or if I'm really supposed to show them or not. So I'm going to keep the bags upside down here. And I can also kind of do this. There you go. So I can show it, see like that. New prop coming from GemFan in a whole bunch of colors. There's like that milky white color, smoke gray, of course, and then a really cool green. I really dig this green. That is not doing it justice. Will it look better in this light? There you go. That's a much better representation of the color. So yeah, some new GemFan props that are coming. If you've been paying attention to the size of propeller that I'm looking into testing and maybe switching over to, that'll be a little bit of a clue. But I'm not going to say more than that because yeah, I don't know if they want me showing these or talking about what these are. But I'm really excited about these. These are a size that I'm really interested in and a weight that I'm really interested in. And that's all I'll say about that. So I don't put my foot in my mouth and ruin a surprise. There's your mailbag. What was it good for you guys? Was it as good for you as it was for me? We talked DJI on yesterday's stream. Apologies for all the technical problems on yesterday's stream. I don't know. It's a 6-year-old laptop. Sometimes it works totally fine for streaming. Sometimes it just doesn't. And yesterday was one of the times that it just didn't. I basically kept this screen up for the entirety of the stream, so that my face was small down in the corner, so that it was hopefully less noticeable that there was like a 1.5 delay between my mouth moving and what you hear out of your headphones or speakers. It's kind of all I can do. I can't. I guess I could sell that laptop and try to get one that's only 3 years old, but I don't really think that's the solution. The whole streaming from the laptop thing is a temporary kind of setup. By June or July, there won't be 2 different spots for me to live stream from, so it'll be good to go. So yeah, that's why I'm very hesitant to kind of spend any money. But yeah, Metadorskin says, I bought the stick ends JB recommended before he put out his video. LOL. Wondering if I should join the list just to avoid stick end fear of missing out. Nice. Paul McDonald says, would you end a flight? He just retracted it. Paul McDonald just retracted the comment. I'm assuming to correct the iPhone missed translation or whatever. Glenn Burnett says, yay dickens. Yarb says, already rocking thumb grippies. I got lucky and absolutely love the set that I bought. Shortest drops or whatever. A+. Zach Lothamer says, QX7 is M4 correct? Correct. I will say this. I can't believe the timing, but so today all of these thumb grippies showed up in like their standard white color. Also today, I saw either an email or a Facebook post or an Instagram post, I'm not sure. Thumb grippies is now selling all of these on We Bleed FPV in a custom We Bleed FPV red color, which is really, really, really cool looking. I would love to have gotten these all in red. When there was a choice in color on these stick ends, I always got either purple or red because of my logo, or black. But with these thumb grippies, there wasn't a color option at the time, which is fine. If I decide that one of these thumb grippies is the stick end that I'm going to go with, I'm going to get a set of red ones from We Bleed FPV. So there you go. If you like thumb grippies, but you don't like this white Delrin / nylon kind of color, you can get them in white from over on We Bleed FPV. Do yourself a favor, if you decide to do that, snag some We Bleed FPV 300 mAh BT 2.0 batteries and build a killer freestyle indoor tiny whoop. Their batteries are amazing. And yeah, that's the hot setup for sure. Aircon says, do you force your PC to connect via 5.8 gigahertz? I'm on a Mac, so I just pick my network and it handles the rest. Paul McDonald says, when Betaflight lists the total amps, is that all 4 motors added up? It sure is, Paul. That is all 4 of your ESCs. Abraham says, sorry if you're tired of saying it, but how do I see if I'm on the Dickens mailing list? I want some, but I'm getting antsy. Might just buy some and hope for the best. So it's listed over on the Dickens Patreon only text channel on Discord. There's a link to a Google Doc, which I think I have fixed. I thought that I turned the Google Doc off of private and onto public, but apparently I didn't. But I think I figured it out this time. Ooh, Glenn says M3. Okay, cool. So the other thing, so let me pull it up super quick like here. So let me just, here you guys are. I already have Glenn on M3. So I need to know Remy Tim and Compost Pile. I need to know if you guys want to be on the M3 or the M4 side of the world. Remy Tim, I'm going to take a guess that you want M4 for your QX7. Compost Pile, I need you to let me know. Hey, if any of you guys donated to the Stick End Fund when it was here, if any of you guys did a super chat when the Stick End Fund was here, I'll put you on this list. You just need to let me know. Try to remember how much you donated to it when it was here, and I'll get you on the list. There weren't many people. I think this was only at like $20 by the time I changed it. And I know Remy Tim was one of them, so it's probably closer to like $15. But yeah, if you donated to the Stick End Fund when it was here, definitely let me know. I want to get you on the list. Otherwise, yeah, you're just going to go to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button. PayPal me however much you want, $1 or more. That's going to judge how high you are on the list. And do me a favor, in the note, call out, hey, this is for the Stick End Fund. I'm M3 or I'm M4, and leave your real name in there if your PayPal's not under your real name, just to make it easier for me to kind of track you down. Yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Hopefully that's fair and you guys dig that. Yeah, anyone with the link. Okay, so I did fix the Google Sheet, so you guys should be good to go. Ooh, Metal Dirtskin, awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna get you on there right now. 777. Perfect. Metal, M3 or M4? Oh, really? Don't do that. I'll just type it in. And 7. Beautiful. All right. So we're one step closer to having that M4. All right, cool. So we're one step closer to having the... it's not in order or anything yet. I'm going to put it in order later. I'm just keeping track for now. All right, cool. Glenn Burnett says, I think I donated $5 to the fund when it was on the screen. Glenn, I've got you in here, and I've got you in here for $5, so you're good to go. Aircon says, maybe UMac sometimes connects via 2.4. You should force it to go with 5.8 for streaming. I think it would be better. I don't think that Macs give you the option, to be honest, Aircon. Macs are pretty much like you just hit a button and they figure out what's best. It's one of the beautiful things about them. Mudderson says, I couldn't see the doc before and now I can. Seems okay. Awesome. Perfect. Abraham says, sorry, no, we got that. All right, awesome. Freeload, you're dropping the PayPal link. Thank you, dude. And Cool Cat's out of here. Thanks for hanging, brother. All right, so we're good to go there. We did a little bit of mailbag. And let's get this out of here. All right, this is good. Let's roll over to the bench and get some work done on the Toothfairy 2 because I need to get that thing knocked out. We talked a lot about DJI yesterday. I'm not totally sold on it. I really can't I'm having a really hard time believing how bad the OSD is. It really, it seems like a personal fuck you to us that they haven't improved on the OSD. I don't know. I at this point, At this point, I'm going to be... Ooh, awesome. Steady Eddie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you need M3. Beautiful. We might be totally caught up at this point. We might be totally clear. Yeah, at this point, I will not be going to any gigs with only DJI. I think I will be going to gigs with both. There are things that analog is going to do better. Basically, I think when I'm going to fly DJI is if I'm at a gig where there's Scraggle. That's something that DJI is going to do a lot better. But other than that, I think I'm going to be sticking to analog because not having OSD that's worth a good goddamn is a real it's a real problem. And there's some other things. I mean, the fact that DJI just goes black when it loses signal or just generally gets angry, like that's awful. That's real bad. Multipathing. If I'm flying at a spot where there's a lot of multipathing, that's another situation where I'll probably switch over to DJI. But for the rest of the stuff, I'm going to stay analog. I mean, just the fact that analog gives you some warning before you completely lose video, that's from a safety standpoint, which is extremely important when you're on a paid gig with actual talent. Yeah, that's a big deal. Abraham wants in on the Stick End Fund. He says, Dick Sends, this should be the official name of the project. I think M4, but whatever the TX16S uses. I don't know what the TX16S uses. Maybe somebody in chat will. I'm going to put you into M4, and if that changes, you let me know, Aber. You guys can donate multiple times. If you donate $100 and then somebody donates $101, you can donate another $1 to leapfrog back on top of them. Aber the Ham, and he is in at $20, and I'm gonna put him on M4 for the time being. Metal Dirtskin confirms it. All right, cool. Metal Dirtskin just screwed himself over by confirming that because he is also on the M4 tier. He could have said M3, and then he would have been one spot up. But he's a good guy, and he didn't want to do that. Good for you, brother. All right, cool. Let me get caught up on chat again. It blew up a little bit here. Lower left corner, M3, X-Lite. Steady Eddie, I'm going to get you onto the M3 side of the world. M3 only has Glenn and Steady Eddie so far. So any of you M3 transmitter folks, you'll be on a shorter list. Kevin Sumner says, you talked about DJI OSD yesterday, but I'm curious how you felt with the latency. I have not flown DJI hard yet. I've only flown it on Cinewhoops and the Razorback really fast high speed rig and the Cineglide. I can definitely tell though, and this is without like pushing it in a freestyle setting. I can definitely tell it just feels lazy. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. And it's great that, but I think that is going to be offset realistically by the fact that you can see farther ahead and you can look farther ahead. But yeah, you can definitely feel the latency. Like I can definitely tell that it's way more like, I don't know, disconnected or lazy or whatever word you want to put on it. But yeah, it's I was really hoping that getting DJI onto rigs that I was familiar with would make me like it more, because every time I've used it up until last week, I was like, of course impressed that you can see where you're going, but not impressed by anything else about it. So I was really hoping that something would sort of click once it was on my rigs. In fairness, I don't have it on a freestyle glide yet. Maybe that'll be the missing piece, but I really doubt it. It's super interesting. It's super interesting. I will admit that I do think I will fly better with it on a freestyle glide, because I'll be able to see farther ahead, and I'll be able to see scraggle and stuff like that. So I do think that I will fly better with DJI, which is kind of all that matters. But I'm not impressed by it. I'm really not impressed by it. Like, being able to see, I figured out the first time I put somebody else's DJI goggles on. I was like, wow, this is really impressive right now. I can actually see. But then the second time somebody let me fly their stuff, I was like, okay, it's this again. Third time, okay, it's this again. You know, like, that went away pretty quickly. And now that I'm living with it, I'm just like, wow, man, this is brutal. Like, some things about it are just brutal. So yeah, I did not expect that. I really expected to, like, having it on a Cinewoop, I just expected to be like, this is the perfect thing, and I love this, and this is amazing, but I'm just not having that experience with it. In fairness, I'm only 40 or 50 batteries into it. Maybe that'll change once I'm 400 or 500 batteries into it. But I don't know. It's super interesting. I'm pretty sure, though, that I will fly better with it. I'm just so shocked at how bad the OSD is. I just don't get it. I just don't understand why they would overlook that so horribly, and why they would make the font so small and unreadable, and unadjustable. It's just like, what the what is happening here? Like, what is it? What did you have? Did no one fly this? Like, did you design it and then you're just like, no, we got to get out the door. We can't test it. Just it's fine. Oh, there's no way to make we didn't do anything on the OSD and we're not willing to fix it down the road. Fuck them. We don't care about them. They're FPV people. They get what you know, they get the crumbs, as Joshua has said it before. I just don't. It's wild. It's wild that they did that. So, man, and you know, I'm also, I said this yesterday, but I'm blown away that more people aren't, like, furious about the OSD. Maybe it's just because it's been out for long enough. Maybe they're like, everybody was pissed off about it, but now it's just, you know, old news. But Jesus, it just sucks. It just sucks. The fields that you're allowed to use from Betaflight are not good enough. There's like a couple of hacks, but yeah, wild stuff. And the latency moving around, oof, oh, that's brutal. The latency changing is just like, I thought it was gonna be, but it's wild now to kind of like experience that, and just to be like, oh, I'm behind two buildings. Well, I better hit the stick extra early. They need to get on that shit and lock the latency. Have a way to lock, even if it's additional latency, just lock it. Lock it at 40. Lock it at 50. I don't care. Just lock the goddamn latency. Yeah, and fix the OSD. Jesus. The goggles are also very uncomfortable. The newbie drone foam helps a lot, but Jesus, the helmet. The helmet is pretty uncomfortable. I'm having this weird problem where the field of view is so big that I'm having to look up in the goggles, and it's kind of hurting my eyes. It's whoo, man. Everybody made me. I think I had unrealistic expectations because everybody and their mother is just oh, you're such an asshole for still being on analog. What kind of a piece of shit are you? DJI or nothing. And I believed it. I really bought into the hype of DJI being the greatest thing ever. And man, I miss a lot of things about analog. Wild. I don't regret it for a second, and the second that I have to fly a gig in a spot with Scraggle, like I did towards the end of last year, it'll be worth its weight in gold. But good God, it's been out for 2 years and it's still like this? What in the hell? What is happening? And that's scary too, because if it's been this long and these things haven't been addressed, they're not going to get addressed. So I don't know. Maybe this new root access hack will open the floodgates. I feel like that's our only hope. And with how many really smart people there are in FPV, I feel like some folks will figure it out. And figure out how to maybe dig down in there and get that, and do what DJI should have done from the jump. Sucks that they've kind of left us high and dry to do that shit ourselves, and they're actively trying to prevent us from doing it by releasing stealth under the radar updates. But, there's also a war going on where drones are being used. So it could very well have 100% to do with that rather than trying to screw us over. Just saying, who knows, but Remy Tim says, my PayPal shows a $20 transaction history for the Dickens, and I have both M3 and M4, so I want to be on whichever one has less demand, I guess. There you go. All right, Remy, I'm going to kick you from 5. So should you have a total of 25 or a total of 20? I'm going to put you at a total of 20 just to be safe, and I'm going to add you to the M3, which has less folks in it. Let me know if you should be at 25. I had you on the list at $5, Remy Tim, that's why I ask. Charles says, simply click and drag the Wi-Fi name to the top in the drop-down menu should force 5.8 gigahertz. Well, I'm not in Studio 2, so it doesn't really do me any good. I'm on wired internet here. But this isn't an internet... I just mindlessly started talking when you guys were making... First of all, I appreciate you guys trying to help me troubleshoot it, but... and I know this is going to sound bad. There's no other way for me to say it. I'm good. I've been live streaming for a year and a half. I've had constant computer issues. I've talked to many other live streamers. Live streaming is a thing that is a total nightmare. There are all kinds of things that you have to do to the computer just to get it to work. Little programs that run to make this stupid little thing work and that stupid little thing work. So unless if you're a live streamer, I would love to talk to you and I would love to hear what you have to say. But if you guys aren't live streamers, I'm good. I have about 30 or so troubleshoots that I have ordered in order of the frequency that they happen to prevent various things from working in OBS or just streaming in general. And I work through those things every single time. I love that you guys are trying to help me out, but it's very frustrating for me that you guys do that, because then I have to respond, right? Because you're trying to help. I've already tried the thing that you're suggesting 87 times, because again, I've been doing this for a year and a half, streaming, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week. Yeah, so it's again, I don't know how else to say it that's going to soften the blow. I just have to say it. I 100% appreciate you guys wanting to help, but it does the opposite. Like, everything that you guys ever try to help me out with either makes no sense to the specific problem that I'm having, because I don't have the time to like specifically sit here and tell you the exact problem that I'm having, because that doesn't make a good live stream, or I've already tried it. So yeah, just in terms of like troubleshooting through live streams and through the internet, just, yeah, bite your tongue if you don't mind, because I've got it. It's a thing. It's a thing. If you don't believe me, talk to another live streamer and they will tell you that it's an equipment nightmare. It's a technical nightmare. It's why so many streams are all fucked up, and the beginning of the stream is all delayed and jacked up, and then there's, it's just, it's a very unique thing, live streaming, and I do not recommend that you do it. It is absolutely maddening. And that's another problem. Like, it is incredibly frustrating to have to troubleshoot these problems for a half an hour before a live stream, and then you guys come in and you start throwing out all these random suggestions, and then I have to spend time, because I don't want to feel like an asshole and ignore you guys, so I have to spend a bunch of time working through these suggestions one by one and saying, hey, thanks for trying to help, but I already tried that. Hey, thanks for trying to help, but I tried. So, yeah, when it comes to trying to troubleshoot my live streams, just do me a favor and bite your tongues. I have much more experience than probably 99.9% of you, and I have an ordered list of troubleshoots that is very long, that I do every single time to try to just have a live stream. So, yeah, again, I appreciate you guys wanting to help, though. I really do. I feel terrible having to say all this, but what do I do? I don't want to just keep letting you guys make suggestions that piss me off and don't accomplish anything, and then eventually I snap at one of you and you get super pissed off at me, So... Athix says, the gel is horrible also. The gel? This is my experience, and F. The gel? What's the gel, Athix? Abraham, thank you again for the super chat. I got you on the list. We got that. Kevin Sumner says, we got that. Ramdanko says, can donate M4 honeycombs but / UK CiottiFPV need M3. Go fish, Ram. I don't know what that means. Freelojo says, I've now killed the Diatone 20x20 ESC after a lot of abuse. Oh, good to hear it. There's a thumbs up for Diatone. Abraham says, you keep saying that you like analog because it gives warning that the signal is dropping out. I'm confused. I definitely noticed the picture degrading before it infrequently drops on DJI. Yeah, analog gives you warning a little bit earlier, and then it doesn't just lock you out completely when the signal goes all the way down, right? So like let's say you fly behind, let's say you go a half a mile out and you fly behind a concrete building. DJI will go to the DJI screen, and that's it. You're done. Your rig is out there, and you're just done. Analog will go full static, and I can flip it into horizon mode, blast the throttle, get above the building, and it'll come right back. So that's this has happened. Tommy lost a rig in the ocean on a. He talks about it in his videos. On a National Geographic shoot, right? That don't look good for you. Paul Nurkala has talked about losing a couple of rigs to this happening. and I've heard a couple other pro pilots that have talked about the full-blown DJI lockout. And so, yeah, it's sort of just a thing. Analog is just that. It's analog. It's you've got more feedback with analog. And that's something that I've gotten very, very, very used to after 5+ years. And it's something that I'm having a really hard time getting comfortable with on DJI. Like, the fact that the DJI system will do that at some point, basically, is what I've been told by pretty much every pro pilot that I've talked to that flies it, makes me really nervous. And being really nervous when you're flying is a really, really, really bad thing. So yeah, that's it's interesting. It's really, really interesting. But maybe I'll get used to it, and maybe it'll never happen. But analog is just, so far at least, analog is just much safer. Is the feeling that I'm kind of getting from it. The OSD elements are way better. I mean, they actually like work. Like, the OSD actually works, and you don't have to like completely take your eyes off of your flying to be able to focus on it and see what the hell it says in 5-point text. And that's a big deal. Having warnings that you can actually read and you can make big, right, with big fonts, is a really, really, really big deal. And then the way that it breaks up just tells you more. Like, it's like more intuitive. Like, I feel much more connected to the rig when I'm flying on analog. When I'm flying on DJI, it's like I'm completely disconnected from the rig. I don't know what's going on because I can't see the OSD out of the corner of my vision. And yeah, there's this constant worry of it just going to the DJI screen and me losing the rig, which is unacceptable. Metaldoxkin says, I am only fair to middling at freestyle flippy floppies, but my 2 Vista glides fly so good, much better than any of my other 5 inches. It almost sounds like you're saying that they fly better because they have Vistas in them, but I know that that's not true at all. Remy Tim says, okay, definitely put me on M3 list for my Tango 2. Awesome, good to go. Veritas Weasel says, do you have a photo of the screen with the font that you were describing for DJI? I don't, but I mean, if you just type into Google like DJI OSD, I'm sure there'll be a picture of it. License to Drive said, because you can't change it. There's no way that you can change the font or anything. So if you find any picture of DJI OSD, you'll see what I'm talking about. License to Drive says, compared to creating a brand new two-way communication system and a compressed digital video stream with retransmittable packets, putting custom OSB on top should be child's play to them. Right? 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 Like, come on. You made the most sophisticated FPV digital HD system the world has ever known, outside of like military stuff that we don't find out about. And then what happened? Like, did you put like one person in charge of the OSD and they were just like a bong ripping good time Charlie, just like, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. I'm gonna take a nap. I'll handle it tomorrow. What if I laid there for like 20 minutes? Would you guys stay? Kevin Sumner says, I really want you to try HD0. I know you have reservations, but the reasons you're annoyed with DJI are the reason I chose HD0. Yeah, I kind of do too, but I'm not spending $100 on a VTX that's heavy as hell and gigantic. HD0 needs to figure this VTX situation out because every single VTX that they have available is just stupid. I am going to be building an HD0 Ripsqueak this summer, so I'll get to see it there on 200 milliwatts. But yeah, I mean that 1 watt VTX is just like, really? That's what you guys have? Like that? No. That's no. That's not that no. And it's 2S to 4S only. What? No. Ramdonko says, DJI news today. Ruby Tim says, yep, total of $20 for M3. Thanks. Awesome. Good to go. Charles says, you're great at streaming. Keep it up. We love it. Thank you, dude. And thank you for understanding, Charles. I did not mean to single you out at all. You were not the first person. You will not be the last person to try to troubleshoot my live streaming setup over the internet. During a live stream, too. So I appreciate you understanding and not freaking out and saying, I hate you now, you gangly fuck. Layman Board says, have you ever flown the Kebab 5-inch motors? I bought them almost a year ago, finally put them on the build. Second battery, they desync. 2 motors are pretty much shot. I just put a set of his brand new Imperials on the Razorback, high-speed, super pitchy prop, 40-degree up tilt rig. They've been good. Those old ones that you bought way long ago did have desync problems. Brother Hobby completely screwed Bob over, and during the prototyping phase, they made the motors one way, and then when he placed a horrendously expensive order for the motors, they cheaped out and manufactured them differently. This is why I and a lot of other folks are kind of sort of boycotting Brother Hobby motors. If you contact Bob, he will more than likely replace those motors for you because he's an incredibly stand-up guy. Even though it was not his fault even a little bit. It is 100% Brother Hobby's fault, but Bob will probably still hook you up. No guarantees, but he will probably still hook you up if you tell him what happened. Yeah, be pissed off at Brother Hobby. It was 100% their fault that happened to you. I don't know. Aircon says, what Tommy happens that YouTube just did the thing. Where was I? Trying to find my place again. Come on, YouTube. Jesus Christ. Aircon says, what Tommy happens, that same thing happens also to me. So it sounds like Aircon has had the experience more than once of DJI going to the blank DJI screen. I don't know. I would think I have a feeling that there's no getting around that. Like their technology just doesn't like when it loses signal to the point where it blacks out, because I'm sure that if there was a way for them to have the system not fully blank out like that and or come back a hell of a lot sooner, that they would have. So I'm assuming that it has to do with the tech built into it, basically, and there's no other way. But it's a problem. It's a real problem, and it scares the hell out of me. King Turkey says, you must learn to let go, trust your instincts, feel it all around you, let go of the hate, use the force. FPV Trucker says, you worry too much. I've been flying DJI since it came out. 9 digital rigs, haven't lost one yet. Just enjoy the clarity and fly yo shit. Unfortunately, I have to worry, because if I hit someone on set, that is pretty much the end of potentially the end of my career, right? Like, this is my career. I have to be very careful when flying around. and like when I say talent, I'm not talking about Joe Blow that just got out of college and is an actor. I'm talking about Little Baby, right? Somebody that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? I'm talking about Masego. I'm talking about Big Boy. I'm talking about Cowboy. I'm talking about all of these, really, really, really high profile people. Mike Will Made It, right? All of these extremely high profile people that you can't hit with a quad, even a Cinewhoop. You just can't. They're not going to give a shit if the reason why I hit them in the face is because the DJI system had a hiccup and it failed. They don't care about that. Their lawyers are going to come after me just the same, as if everything was perfect and it was a pilot error on my part. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to worry a lot about that. That's just part of being a professional pilot. And the second that a professional pilot doesn't worry about that kind of shit is when something really bad is going to happen. And that's when it's also going to ruin it for everyone, right? Because the second that a high-profile person gets hit in the face and sues is the second that the entire film industry says no to FPV. And I've actually already had this happen. I've already been... I still got paid, so whatever, in one way, but I wanted to fly. I've already had it happen where the talent's name was Jack something or other. I don't know, another really high-profile rapper from the end of the year last year. This Jack person's manager pulled me aside and said, "Hey, we're not going to have you fly. We're still going to pay you." Jack was at a concert over in Europe, and one of the drone pilots lost control, and the drone landed itself in the audience. Nobody got hurt, but it really made him nervous, and it makes all of us nervous. So we're gonna pay you, but you got to go. You're done for the day. And this was before I'd even flown. So like, and it turned out that it was a photography drone, but it doesn't matter. Right? Like, that screws over the whole FPV industry. And people are starting to understand the difference between FPV and photography drones, and they also understand that FPV is much more like Wild West. So yeah, the second that something bad happens in the film industry, in the music industry, whatever, with FPV, that could be it. And I ain't going to be that guy. So I'm going to worry a lot. And by worrying a lot, that's going to keep me from being that guy. So yeah, it's just a, and I'm very lucky in that I've been in the film world, right? Like, I went to school for TV radio. I was introduced to this over 20 years ago. There is just like an understanding surrounding safety when you're on set. And it's something that you really, really, really need to take very, very seriously, because people getting hurt on set just can't happen because the stakes are way too high. You've got tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of salaries being paid every day. The set that I was on Thursday had $6 million minimum $6 million in Rolls Royces. There were 20 plus security guards, 6 or 7 cops. There were at least 50 people on the crew, most of them making day rates, which are typically a minimum of $500 to $1,000. There were multiple Steadicam operators. Steadicam operators, I've heard, will make upwards of $10,000 a day, right? Someone getting hurt shuts production down, and it's just completely unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable for people to get hurt, or all the way like the risk factor goes all the way up to guns being on set and people getting killed. Right? there was a director 6 months or so ago that who was it? Alec Baldwin shot and killed because somehow a prop gun got a real round loaded into it, and someone died. You know, a 5-inch FPV drone that goes out of control at full throttle and hits somebody in the head. Who knows what happens there, right? I mean, like the Cinelifters, come on. Cinelifters with 10-inch carbon fiber blades picking up, you know, multiple kilograms. I mean, fucking cut somebody's head off, right? Like, probably not, but hit somebody in the neck with a carbon fiber 10-inch blade with that much stank behind it. Hope the hospital's close, right? So on film sets, it's a different world. It's a very, 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 very different world than just going out into a parking lot and railing around. So you gotta worry. If you want to not be the guy, you gotta worry. Unfortunately. But that's that's why there aren't many professional FPV pilots, because typically when you get into the film world and you start to see and you start to realize that it's like this, a lot of people are like, Jesus, no fucking way, man. If I had to guess, that might be why Steele doesn't do it anymore. I have no idea. But yeah, he's lucky in that he's got ethics and he's got a ton of people that'll watch him just fly regular FPV stuff. So why would he? You know, why would he enter into the world of flying professionally and cinematic gigs where the stakes are so high and there's all these chances of you know, some pretty scary stuff happening, right? Like I said, I have absolutely no idea if that's why he stopped flying cinematic gigs way back when. But it very well could be. You know, if I were in his shoes, I might not either, right? I might just sit back and chill out and buy more cars and screw around and just go fly, you know, 1-packs all day, and it's a pretty good life right there, right? All right. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we'll get over here to the bench. Athix says, check live stream Discord. Also, I meant the dampening gel. F that sticky stuff. Okay. Raviogi FPV with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, CiottiFPV, I entered in late tonight, and I hate to see this anxiety. Is some Clanman inspiration needed? I'm not anxious. I'm just prepared. This is not anxiety. This is just me being prepared. This is one of the nice things about anxiety, actually. You know, when you have anxiety and depression and you go through enough talk therapy, you kind of realize that you got to live with it. And one of the things that's helped me lately that my therapist, Sean, has helped me kind of wrap my head around is to not, like, demonize, you know, these things that I'm going to have to live with, and kind of like look for the things that the positives from them. And this is actually a positive of anxiety. Anxiety will force you to be over prepared. And yeah, in the film world, it really pays to be over prepared. So yeah, this is one of the things that I really do genuinely love about generalized anxiety disorder. That there aren't many things that I love about it, but there are a few. So, you know, I try my best to appreciate the good parts about it and respect and live with as best I can the bad parts about it. Metal Dirtskin says, I'm not going to say anything else about DJI because I want to see Toothfairy built. Jason Black says, Tommy said it was due to the other cam's frequency interference, possibly, most likely. Yeah, the boat had security cams on it that are 5.8 gigahertz, which is very scary because a lot of places, a lot of buildings, a lot of things that we like to fly around have security cameras. So yeah, that actually when Tommy realized that's what it was, that scared me even worse, because those 5.8 security cams are all over the damn place, right? In a lot of spots that we like to fly. So, yeah. Airwave FPV says, yo. Apache says, good morning, what's up? And Remy Tim says, I thought Steele was doing Cinelifter stuff for work like less than a year ago. When did he stop doing pro work? I don't know when he stopped doing pro work, but I have not seen him do any of it for a long, long, long time. And in the interview with Joshua Bardwell, he specifically mentioned that he doesn't do it anymore. So, yeah. All right, friends, let's get some work done on the Toothfairy. So last time we spent about an hour trying to figure out how the hell to get the 20x20 ESC and flight controller to properly clear these wee little 15 millimeter tall M2 standoffs, which are what kind of locks in the build height of this rig. Fair warning, this is a pretty specific build. This is a very tight build. This is a very challenging build. This is going to take me a lot of time to get this done because it's so slammed and it's so tight. That's what she said. So yeah, if you are looking at getting a Toothfairy, expect that. The positives of difficult builds are they tend to fly a little bit better because the fact that they're so tight and everything is on top of each other makes them a little bit lighter, sometimes a little bit stronger. So yeah, hopefully once this thing is done, it'll fly a little bit better than the Cinesplorer. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry and pee my pants. So let's get a little bit of XT30 action going on this ESC. So I've chosen to set this ESC up with the power pads in the back here. So I think what I'm going to do is just run a little short XT30 right out the side here. But let me grab a battery, and I want to get a feel for where the battery plug is going to be sitting. So I'm going to run these 4S850s just like I do on my just like I run on the Cinesplorer. What the hell happened here? Okay. And so this is about as far back. So there's going to be a big old GoPro up here. So I mean, realistically, this is about as far back as I'm going to be able to get this thing to sit. Jesus, this is going to be a problem. I'm not going to be able to use this front. I'm not going to be able to use this front strap slot hole. My God, this is... something just fell over in the workbench for no real reason. And now I'm scared. This is... Jesus. Is this gonna work? Alright, so that's gonna be sitting there like that. Oh boy. Okay. So this battery is gonna have to really hang off the back, and it's not looking like I'm going to be able to use this front strap slot at all. Bueller? Oh boy, this is not going well. Okay. Well, Jesus, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do this build. I know that sounds insane, but there might not be enough room for the batteries that I run to get the amount of runtime and the strap slots. And what on earth? I mean, I should have just built another Cinesplorer. I should have just built a slammed Cinesplorer. That's what I should have done. Wow. This is rough. Scooter FPV with a $26 super chat. Scooter, thank you so much, dude. No comment, just a little happy smiley face. Thank you, brother. Thanks for supporting the madness called being a full-time FPV person. Very cool of you. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask them. Tag me, type CiottiFPV, and I'll give you super special attention. Wow. This is okay. So this is a really big problem. So I'm gonna properly mount this mount. I don't do the sideways battery thing. I mean, the biggest problem would be there'd be no way to strap it down. There's no way to run a battery strap in here. But even if there was, when you have the battery sideways, you can only run one battery strap, and that's not enough. One battery strap is never enough. You always need two. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to stop everything, and I'm going to properly mount this to see if there is going to be a way to get these batteries to fit with this GoPro mount on this top plate and still have some sort of a battery strap set up that can hold this damn thing on. I'm horrified that I might not be able to do. I might not do this build, but at the same time, I'm really glad that I saw this now, rather than when I'm deeper into this build. But fair warning, I might not actually do this build I might not do this build as a Cinewhoop, which is what I need one more of right now. I need one more prop guarded rig. If this doesn't work out, what I'll do is I'll just table this frame, and I'll build this frame as a 3-inch or a 4-inch rig down the line. So yeah, let's figure that out right now. So these are for conical M2 screws, which I do not have. Okay. So that makes things a little bit more annoying. Oh, there's some conical screws. Oh, no, I'm not going to use those. F that noise. Alright, so let's kill these. And I'll use these slightly smaller ones. Little cup washers. I'll feel terrible if I bail on this build, because I'm now like 3 live streams deep into, hey, Toothfairy 2 build. But the live flying gig is on April 9th, which is coming up fast. So I need to shit or get off the pot with another rig that is going to be able to be like locked in and solid and good to go before that date. So I think by the end of the stream tonight, I will have decided whether or not I'm going to push forward on this build. It would be way, now that I'm like thinking about this, it's probably a lot smarter to not do a build on a frame that's unfamiliar to me like this. right before this gig, like it would probably be a lot smarter just to stop this right now and throw another Cinesplore together. But, you know, why start doing smart things now? You know? Quadfather says, definitely meant for an AIO whoop board. Yeah, that or the FPV Ciotti Mac 282 said use Velcro. Not for a rig that's going to be flown in a professional setting around people. That's not really good enough. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I would ever fly a rig with a battery that's just Velcroed on. That seems super sketchy to me. But I'm a little bit of a wuss, so. But I'm okay with being a wuss, because I'm a wuss that isn't going to be that guy that hits somebody in the face with a battery at 80 miles an hour. Not saying that you are, but you know, it's battery retention is important to me. I don't want to lose the rig. I don't want to lose the battery. I don't want to hurt anybody. Blah 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 blah. All the reasons we've been talking about. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this screwed on, and we'll take a look at the situation. Man, these M2 standoffs are. How about this? How the hell does the camera mount to this rig? I guess just with there's the vertical plates that hang off the front. I forgot. That's right. Okay. Get this other one going here. Yeah, the good Velcro is ridiculously strong, but I don't know. I can't trust that. I can't trust that. Okay, there's those. Let's get the rears going here. Plus, then you got to put Velcro on all your batteries, and then you put them on other rigs, and the batteries are sitting up on the Velcro. It's just a whole big thing. I'm not really down with that. All right. There it is. So, I got that. Yeah, all right. I was worried about these cup washers being too small and these things like really digging into the TPU, but it actually doesn't seem all that bad. Seems kind of okay. All right, so let's take a look here. So I'm actually even gonna grab a battery strap, I think, and throw that in there. All right, so here we go, up from the bottom, straight back down, and mash it through. Damn, I was really excited for this build. Until I started building it. Ever since I've been building this, it's been like... I guess I've just sort of realized how tight it is and how... yeah, everything is kind of on top of everything else. Oh, come on, man. Kid. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right, so yeah, I mean, there is not a spot for another battery. I mean, it's just not gonna happen. There's not gonna be a second battery strap on here. It's just not the with a GoPro mount. Without a GoPro mount, sure, but with a GoPro mount, there is just not room. This is wild. Okay, so, but these are smaller batteries than 5-inch rigs, so maybe should be okay, right? I mean, so then that exits like that. Battery is being pulled down into just there and there. This front grip doesn't really... Hey, Dick says, what would you rather build, the Beta FPV 86X, 250, or the Toothfairy? None of them. Definitely not the 85X. The pusher, at least. That's the worst build I've ever done. I guess the 250. All right. Well, single battery strap probably be okay. This is going to hang out here. Let's rotate the battery around and see how that is. Don't think I would want to do this because it wastes that little bit of space up in the front, but just for the sake of looking, let's see what that looks like. The battery lead comes out there. It's actually not terrible. Not as bad as I thought set up like that. The other question is, am I going to be able to get the CG centered? Landboard says, can you put a battery strap behind the other in the rear? You can't, because there's going to be a Caddx Vista. This frame uses the Caddx Vista as the rear standoffs. So there's nowhere for a battery strap to go back here. Okay. Alright, so that puts this right even with the front of that. Let me flip it around one more time. Yeah, see, when you put the battery like this, it just slams this, it slams the XT30 lead into the GoPro mount. So realistically, battery needs to go the other way. Terminal Insanity, I'm currently trying to talk myself into one strap with the grip being enough. I don't love that. I really prefer to have two battery straps. If nothing else, then just redundancy. If one of the straps does break, you don't fire the battery off the rig. I'm sitting here trying to convince myself that, I mean, the problem is these 4S 850 batteries are heavy enough to break a single battery strap. And my big problem with breaking a battery strap is the battery fires off and the rig comes unplugged. And that makes the rig a lot harder to find. And if there's footage that I need on that, that's a really big issue. That becomes a total fucking nightmare. So what's happening in my brain right now is that the potential flight performance, the slight bit of extra flight performance that I would maybe get from this frame is being grossly offset over a Cinesplorer, is being completely offset by the number of like little pain in the ass things that are happening here. The inability to run a second battery strap is a bigger deal than than you would kind of imagine. But but if I mount the battery, let's see, I do have these really skinny battery straps that I can maybe make work up front there. Let's try, I think it's this luminaire that's going to be long enough. Let's see. Come on, man, get the... There we go. Let's see. Abraham says, F it, just buy a bunch of spare top plates, epoxy one light, put each of them. Just swap the top plates, problem solved. Done. Athix says, the Toothfairy is a nightmare. Took it apart to put HD0 in it. F up, didn't get the battery lead back right. Now I just look at it and cringe. Yeah, I remember not loving that build, but I don't remember it being nearly as much of a nightmare as the 85X. Raviogi says, will there be good antenna clearance if that lead to the pack goes out the back? Probably not. But I will admit that that is an issue that I have with the Cinesplore. I do have a problem with the Cinesplore where I push the battery back as far as it'll go, and I tend to kind of run out of room because it smashes into the antenna. So I don't think I'll hold that against this frame because that situation still plagues me on the Cinesplore. It would be an easy fix on the Cinesplore, though, to be honest. My guess, though, with this frame is actually that I won't have that problem, come to think of it, because the rear of the frame where the antenna mount sits is farther back. So yeah, that probably won't be an issue. That'll probably be the only thing that's not an issue on this frame. See, so that sits like that, and if the battery's up here, nope, it'll still be in the way. I don't think it'll be as in the way as the Cinesplore, though, which is interesting. So the other issue with using this front battery strap is that this front battery strap slot, oh yeah, see, I can't do that. This front battery strap slot is right on top of the 20x20 stack, and with only a 15 millimeter build height, it's gonna be like all over this flight controller. This is not looking great, friends. There's this big chip, and then there's this big tall USB port, which is going to be right on top of this battery strap. But let's deal with that in a second. Why the hell did I take this strap off? That was stupid. I guess it doesn't matter because what I want to look for. Okay, all right. So I can get a second battery strap on it. So that's nice. As long as it's one of these little skinny guys, and as long as I mount the battery with the leads rearward, like it currently is. And then I just have to push that mount out of the way. This is not looking great. Gotta be real honest, friends. Toilet tanking won't work. Bottom mounted certainly won't work. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. This is not how I thought this was going to go. So the next thing I need to check is the clearance on this front battery strap. I don't think I'm willing to only run one battery strap. On a Cinewoop. I don't like it. So let's see here. Alright. Man, look at these little M2 screws for the body of this thing. Brutal. Oh, come on now. Yeah, it's hard to get at these screws, too. Oh my god. Come on now. These things are all kind of piling up on top of each other too. Like, if I'm on set and I have to be fucking around with M2 screws like this, I'm gonna be pissed. Alright, so, and now I forget how the hell I was gonna mount this thing. I think I was gonna mount it like this. I think that was the deal, right? The other option, yeah, this is it. So this is how I was going to mount it. Or was it? No, I was going to put it upside down, I think. I think I was going to put it upside down. Is that the move? Well, I think it needs to, yeah, this, oh boy. Man, this is so sketchy, having this USB port so close to these power leads. Alright, well, let's just take a quick look here. Let's just take a quick look at what this strap slot is, what this battery strap, rather, is going to do once this guy is on here. Yeah, it's touching the flight controller. Oh, wow. Tim says, wait, this is all for a Cinewoop. When's the last time you came even close to slinging a battery off a Cinewoop? I mean, not yet, but it can't happen once. You know what I mean? Like, I can't lose a rig with potentially a day's worth of footage on it. Jackalope says, just got my stickers in the mail. Keep my eyes peeled for my super tight giveaway I won last week. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm not saying it'll happen. What I'm saying is that it can't happen. And it's not the only issue. You know, some of the other issues are that we're having to run a really cheap ESC just so that it's small enough to clear the 15 millimeter standoff height. This battery strap is going to be hitting the flight controller, which is, I guess I can buy myself a little bit of space like that. Yeah, okay, so that'll work. But man, yeah, that still eats up a bunch of the, you know, this battery strap is eating up like 2 or so millimeters of the 15 millimeter build height. Acrodog says, what's stopping you from using taller standoffs? Vertical carbon fiber camera plates. This is one of the big reasons that I hate vertical carbon fiber camera plates is that they lock you into a build height and you can't do any adjustment. Motherson says maybe a little Kapton tape will tie to top of that USB port if you're concerned about it touching anything. Yeah, it's true. Kevin Sumner says, time for a Cinesplorer. I see you fighting yourself. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed that I haven't bailed on this already. But I think that this is when I am going to bail on this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this build, but it's not gonna be right now. And I don't think it's gonna be a Cinewoop build. I think it's gonna be a 3-inch build. Man, I do really want to fucking build this, though. God damn it. Now, the rear is only for the Caddx Vista. The rear, there are no rear standoffs. It uses the Caddx Vista as rear standoffs. Jesus, man. This is brutal. I'm super conflicted what to do here. Now, I need to, the smart thing to do is to throw another Cinesplorer together. I have one sitting here. It'll share the same TPU. And yeah, I need it for April 9th. So, Jesus, this is ridiculous. These M2s are just, this is crazy. M2s for the camera mounting. This is wild. I do not like this. Damn. I really hate to do it. I know that a lot of you guys want to see this build, and I do too. Like, I want to do this build really bad. But each one of these little pain in the ass things is just like... GoPro's gonna be sitting all the way back there. McConnell Studio says, feel free to strip the red Cinesplorer. Oh shit, that's true. I can actually just bind that damn thing up. Ooh, interesting. Thanks for the reminder, dude. So yeah, technically speaking, I have a second DJI Cinesplorer. Ooh. McConnell Studios might have just saved this build. King Turkey says, Ranger Bands, man, Ranger Bands. Just got back, don't know if you dismissed my previous comment or not. It's been a long time since I was into airsoft. What are Ranger Bands? I don't remember. Go-Kart Mozart says, stick Velcro to the top plate and battery. It won't go anywhere. Works with RC planes, cars. Be fine in a Cinewoop. Yeah, I can't do that, Go-Kart. Not on a professional gig. Not to mention that the other thing that I forgot about using not battery straps to mount batteries is that you introduce a separate vibration in the battery wiggling back and forth. And you have to put Velcro on all your batteries, which makes them not work right on any of your other rigs. It's just not something I'm going to do. It's a great suggestion, but it's just, yeah, it's not for me. All right. Let me keep going with this build. Because I think I can maybe make it. I think I'll be okay. And yeah, it's not even April yet, so let's just go with this build. Where's that battery? Okay, so the batteries are going to have to be mounted backwards like this. This wire is going to come out here. It's going to roughly need to plug in there. So the XT30 needs to exit here, come up, and make it pretty much all the way back there. So, all right, let's get rolling here. Oh, are you long enough? Yeah, I think you are. Please be long enough. Fuck, it's not long enough. Feck. It's like just barely not long enough, of course. Do I have another one? A little bit longer, maybe? Please? Please? Oh, what about... Nope, that's the wrong side of the XT30. So is that. Balls. Come on. Am I sure this isn't long enough? Oh, I can always just run it like that. It's gonna sit like that. If I run that like that, it'll be totally fine. But I usually don't like to do that. I usually like to loop it around like this. Alright, so that could come out like right there at an angle. And then this guy gets there. Yeah, you know, this actually should be long enough. Should be good. Worst case, I can just flip around. All right, zap it on, away we go. I think I'm going to try at least to go a little bit faster on this. Nah, AIO board is not an option. AIO boards should be deleted from FPV forever. DJ Dubs, they're terrible. Especially if you're building a rig to fly around other people. Absolutely not. AIOs are completely unacceptable in that scenario. Yeah, they're terrible. Just say no to AIOs. Alright, get some flux on here. Get these tinned up, and then we'll throw this XT30 lead down on here. I also need to figure out a battery, a capacitor setup on this as well. Hopefully, there's enough room between this stack and the. Yeah, there should be. There should be no problem getting a capacitor up in there. Let's spec that out real quick though while the soldering irons come up to temperature. This is a 35 volt 470. Yeah, buddy, that'll fit right on in there. Okay, perfect. So that's no problem. I wonder if this would sit lengthways. Nope, that'll touch the Vista. All right, so that ain't gonna fit lengthways, but it will fit left to right with a cap. Oh wait, no. Do I have one in here with a cap already on it? Oh, I think I do. Oh boy, that's a big bitch though. That's a 680. Looks like it might fit. Oh man, that's awful big though. That's too big. That's too big. That's what she said. Okay, I thought that I had one more capacitor in here already pre-wired with a cap. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I used it. I don't think I do. Okay, let's just grab a cap and we'll be good. Where are they at? There's one. Alright, yeah, we'll do this 35 volt 470. I don't think there's anything. 470, 35. How about this guy? Ah! Oh, come on now. Where'd that go? Oh, no. Don't play this game. Don't play the disappearing game. No! Come on. Hey, got it. says wider but skinnier. Something like that. What's the difference? Just different manufacturers. 470-35, 470-35. Let's use this big guy. We'll use the width. Should be good to go. Cap, little short leads, boom, boom. Okay. All right. Come on. Fruit Looter says avoid the noise. Remember that weird-ass commercial? King Turkey says heavy duty rubber bands, even lobster claw bands, plus grip equals stuck battery. Abraham says seems CiottiFPV caught some of my OSD. Apologies, man. Didn't realize it was contagious. Sorry for your build config. Pain in the nuts. I've always been like this, Aber. Wonderitskin says I was trying to remember why I didn't run into this. It's because I use FPV cycle 25x25 stack. It's big overkill for a Cinewoop, but is much shorter. I talked to Bob about the Darwin boards, and he said they would barely fit. So that's why I ended up saying to hell with it, and I went the 20x20 route. Oh, really? There's too much solder on there? Come on now. Get real. Avoid the Noid. My God. That was a Little Caesar commercial, right? It's a bunch of solder on this one leg, and that's keeping it from going through the cap. But I think that I just got enough of it off. I sure did. So this is the newer generation of cap, and I don't know if I like it as much. It's pretty similar, but not exactly the same. Hard to explain what the difference is. Basically doesn't have nice big pads on it. The old cap had these nice big separate set of pads on it. This does not. But we'll see. Wait. This one is marked positive and negative, so I am gonna get that right. Come on, man, get up in there. Get up in there. Yeah, I'm definitely running this side up. This side's got bigger pads than the other side. Cool. Negative lined up with the gold stripe on the battery. And make sure it's sitting down flat against the top piece. Hit it with a little bit more juice here, and let's get some solder going on there. All right, let's get this cap on here, and then we can start playing around with the ESC. There we go, big old blob there. Turn the fan on here. And let's get a big old blobby light going on the ground side. Looking good. I just want to make absolutely sure that I've pushed enough solder down in between the cap and the legs. Wasn't really thinking about that a minute ago. All right, so now I can't possibly imagine that's not enough solder in there. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, cool. The legs on these capacitors are so weak that I always, with these caps, I always make sure that I get a good amount of solder in there to try to strengthen it up as much as possible. Probably just me being insane, but... okay, so now we're going to get... Oh, man, how the hell am I going to hold this down? I'm going to have to VHP this down. That sucks. Let's use a couple of... Motor wires is one of my favorite ways to just get this knocked out here. This is 18 gauge. I know you're supposed to use like really over. You're supposed to be really overkill. Yeah, let's use this 18. In order for the capacitors to do anything, you got to terminal insanity. The cap. It makes soldering wires up to the capacitor a lot easier, and it's just like a really nice, neat, and tidy kind of solution for that. Alright, so it's going to sit here with these exits on this side, and then little tiny short wire run, boom and boom. Okay. Hold on, let me tin these ESC pads while I'm thinking about it. Okay. What's up, dead chicken? Alright, get up in there. Come on now. Yeah. Looking good. One here. Alright, there we go. That is just fine. Oh, wow, it traveled all the way to the bottom. That's interesting. Fine. We only need a tiny little bit of this wire because these little runs are going to be very short. So let's do this. Let's fold it in half. Cut it. Put this half away. And then we'll take this in half. And that should be plenty. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these flat... I like to put a little piece of shrink wrap, again, from the cap to the body of the capacitor. I've never done this before, but I just got this little idea about how to do that in a slick kind of way. I'm going to run these wires down the side of the body of it and then run them out. That'll make sense in a second. Let me get this rolling here. Alright, so let's strip this 18 gauge and we'll get it tinned, and I'm going to put fresh solder on here because this is more than likely lead-free solder that's on there, and that shit sucks. So let's get these tinned. Motherton says, you've seen tried those Matec boards that are like a cap with the TVS diode included. You know, no, I haven't, but I did order. Now it makes me kind of want to use them for this build. I did order Kebab's fancy capacitor with diode setup. And arguably this is the perfect build to use those on. What the hell did I do with them? Where did I put those? I feel like I put them on the top of the toolbox. See if I can find them real quick. Alright, I'm out of solder. What did I do with those ultra fancy little capacitors? There they are! Let's see. It looks like it's too big for this build, but let's take a quick look. Yeah, with this build running such a shitty little ESC, in that it's just a micro ESC. This could be perfect, but yeah, it's too wide. A little bit too wide. That's okay. These are expensive, so these are I'm going to use these on a 5-inch build. I mean, they weren't actually expensive, but they weren't free like most capacitors are. Since every ESC I've ever bought has come with a capacitor, so I've just saved them all. Actually, I haven't even saved them all. I've just saved most of them. I've given a bunch away. What's up, Random? How are you, man? Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to zap this on like that, and then I'm going to shrimp wrap it down. So I'm going to hold this thing. Oh, I know how I'm going to hold it. With the magical blue tack. This is the good blue tack. Push it down. Take our capacitor, push it in, and give it a little hug, blue tack. Give it a little hug, you dirty rat bastard, you. All right, cool. So let's get this zapped on here. I'll probably burn my fingers, but hey, that's okay. It's worth it. No, let me get myself a big old piece of solder so that I'm ready. And I can come in with a wet tip. You know what I'm saying? Come on. There you go. Wrap your solder around the handle of the screwdriver, bunch it up like this. Take one of the ends and pull it out at a 90. And you've got a self-standing little thing of solder. Top tips. Actually, one of my favorite tips. I'll just keep it getting all janky. Okay. Now we can come in with a wet tip. Let's actually get some flux on here as well. All right. Here we go. I'm going to try to do this fast because I don't want the solder to chase up the wire, because I want to be able to bend this wire right at the bottom. There we go. All right, move this flight controller out of the way so we don't ruin it. And now we're going to do the other one. Don't do this with the same color wire. It's stupid. I'm dumb for not finding an 18 gauge piece of red wire. But I've done this on a bunch of builds now, so I'm kind of used to both of the capacitor wires being black and having to check for it. All right, there we go. There we go with that. And all right. So this is what I'm thinking. Oh, fuck. Cap is coming off. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. What I want to do. All right, there we go. That's kind of happening. It's kind of working. Jesus. What I want to do is put a piece of shrimp wrap up here. Okay, good. I think I'm just about there. Hopefully I didn't break the goddamn legs off of the capacitor yet. No, it looks like we're okay. Alright, cool. So that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be like that, and then I'm going to put a piece of shrink wrap up here. So let's knock that out real quick here. And okay, now I know the shrink wrap that I need. It's this one. Here we go. This is going to be the perfect size. Alright, and let's cut it about like that, I think. Probably about right. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, right? This should keep the cap from rotating. Oh Jesus, this isn't big enough. Let's try to stretch it real quick. Okay. Parker FPV with a $4.99 super chat. He says, when will the stick end M4 kit be done? I don't have a specific date, Parker, but I've already gotten all of the stick ends from Thumb Grippies, RDQ, Pyrodrone, and Get FPV. Next is Fly 533. So hopefully sometime in April is going to be my guess. The funding for it has also kind of slowed down a little bit. Although, my God, somebody donated $100, which was incredibly helpful. So yeah, right now it's still on like I'm still in the red or whatever you want to say. But that's fine. I mean, it kind of is what it is. All right, so we stretched the shrink wrap out. After you've stretched it out, fan is on. After you've stretched it out, be a little bit careful. Don't like hammer it too hard with heat. Just understand that you're stretching it beyond its normal whatever. So yeah, there we go. That's kind of what I was thinking. That'll keep the wires down. It should keep the cap itself kind of centered and a little bit protected. Because what you don't want is the cap to rock around, because that'll break the legs off of the capacitor, and that ain't good. You do not want that. Parker, is that $4.99 super chat for the stick end fund? I have a feeling. Yeah, so then this guy's just going to sit in here. And then we've got nice short wire runs. Of course, the one that I don't want to be the ground is the ground. Okay. Let's get these guys on here first. They are exactly even. Well, I guess I could run them straight out the... No, we're not going to do that. We're going to run these sideways the way that I always do it. Okay, so... I'm only going to cut this... so the ground is towards me, and I'm going to exit them towards me. But I want all the length that I can possibly get, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off the ground. A lot of times I'll cut them the exact right length, but on this occasion I'm going to leave the ground a little bit longer than I need to. Okay. And this wire is buggered up. Alright. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Ooh, somebody step on a duck. Alright, that's looking a little bit better. Cool. Let's get this ground lead tinned and then see if I can get it onto that. Yes, see. Kind of cutting it close. I didn't strip a lot of the insulation off of here. Hopefully I don't need to. Come on, wire get hot. There we go. Why is it so stubborn? What the hell's going on here? Positive side's all janky too. Alright, there we go. That's a little better. Positive side actually needs more solder. And here we go. Let's tin the side that was already tinned. Okay, that should be fine. There we go. All right. This fan pointed back on me. All right. These battery pads blasted down here. Actually, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Let's take it off of the frame. I'll make it a little easier. All right. Ground first. And what's the difference in length? Okay, yeah, well, it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so that's going to move all around. Let's get the blue tack back on the scene. Alright. Got some flux action happening. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Come on, get down. Melt, melt, melt. There it goes. All right, that'll be nice to have a little spot for the well, I'm going to have to get the capacitor on here right away. I guess I could zap the capacitor to the bottom. Hell, I could even put these on the bottom. I'll just put the capacitor on, it's fine. Do this one step at a time. So this guy's going to sit in here like that. Capacitor is going to sit right behind it, and then the little tiny short wire run. Negative is on the bottom, positive is on top. So a little short wire run is going to be like that. And that, and then the positive can be like that. Okay, wow, this is going to be all up on here. Cut it right there. Okay, so this is the ground. Strip a little tiny bit of the insulation off, just a little bit, because that is going to go straight onto that pad. Okay. Awesome. Alright, so that's going to just stick out and hook up right with that pad, and then this I might as well knock out this positive too while I'm at it. It's going to go down a little bit. This positive is going to go up a little bit. Alright. So this positive, I'm going to cut it up here. It's actually got a little bit more of a run than it needs to do. Okay. This is going to be neat and tidy, to say the least. Okay, good. Glad I'm doing this now. This would have been a nightmare after I put that after I put both of the sides of that XT30 on. Okay, good. Tin these up real quick. All right, here we go. Parker, let me know if that super chat is destined for the stick end fund. And if it is, you gotta let me know if you're M3 or M4. I also need to know what your name is on Patreon, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get your address. Alright, perfect. That's looking good. So, negative on the bottom. So we're going to hook the negative up right like that. Oh boy, this is going to be tough to get the soldering iron in there. Oh, look at this. Look at this tightness. Okay, let's see how this goes. This could be a royal effing nightmare. I don't think so. I think this will be fine. Alright. We'll use the skinny tweezers. And we'll get that guy right in position there. Clean the tip of the soldering iron. And I'm just going to come in dry. I'm going to probably knock it out. Let's see. Yeah. So I came off of there a little bit quicker than I wanted to, because I didn't want to melt that entire pad and have the battery lead come off. And it looks like I got away with it. It's not a cold solder joint, and it's on there pretty good. So yeah, I think that's looking kind of nice. All right, so now we're gonna get the positive lead on, and then I'll run this other battery lead up top. Jesus, this is getting tight, yo. I do not have much room to work with here, but I think I'll be okay. What's really going to suck is when this battery lead is too short. That's going to piss me right off. But maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be just the right length. It won't. It's going to be too short. I'm going to get pissed. Quadfather says, I test fit the Vista just aft of that cap to make sure there's enough room for it. The holes are way back here, so it should be totally fine. They, since the Vista is the rear standoffs, there's a big ass gap back here. That's I've been checking that as I've been test fitting the capacitor in there. But that's a good suggestion, and I am actually going to do it after I get these guys zapped down. Because I don't know if this is using the 20 by 20 mounting or the 25 by 25 mounting on the Vista. Hopefully this is using the 25 by 25 mounting on the Vista. If it's using the 20 by 20 mounting on the Vista, I'm probably not going to be able to run a capacitor. But in the builds that I saw on rotor builds, two of the guys put capacitors here, so I know it's... And they were both AIO builds. So I should be totally fine, but we'll check that in 1 second. Oh, fuck. How did that one strand of wire get out of it? Really? Or is that just a reflection? No, that's a goddamn strand of wire. Really? Where the hell did you come from, you little prick? There we go. That was surprisingly painless. A quick rework there. Oh yeah. Beautiful. All right, so now we hook up this little fella, and in theory, we can move on to the next part of the build. Maybe. Let's see. I need to put a little squiggly on this. Come on. Yeah, there we go. That's what I need. Just a little angle on there. Yeah, that's the stuff. All right, cool. Let's get that hooked on there. And then we'll do a quick little test fit. Same deal here. I want to get this hot, but I don't want the XT30 to pop off. Good. Good. That worked out nice. Alright, so in theory, this thing will sit... Oh, fuck. Well, there's one way to check if it's a cold solder. Push on it real hard. Shit! It's not using the 25 by 25. It's using the 20 by 20. God damn it. It will still clear, but it's pushing up against it. So it's going to either push up against... That ain't going to work. Oh, farts. That ain't going to work either. Shit sticks. Good call, Quad Father. I used the capacitor. It's too big. No, I picked a frame that's too small. Is what actually happened here. I mean, I could just pull this shrink wrap, and that'll help a ton. Yeah, I'm out of gas for the night. It's 12:20. I know we didn't get shit done, but this is oh boy. This is one hell of a build. I don't know about this. I'm gonna really think about this tonight and tomorrow, and if I decide to keep going with this build, I'm probably gonna bang a ton of it out tomorrow during the day. Tuesdays are usually my day off, but lately it's become a day to build stuff and prep. So yeah, this is I gotta really think about this. This is there's a chance that I'll get the whole build. I don't know what's going on. I can't believe how tight this is. I can't believe how tight this build is. Yeah. Probably gonna keep going because I'm a stubborn ass bastard. But I don't think this little setup with the shrink wrap on the capacitor is gonna fly. I absolutely have to get a capacitor onto this, and it has to be a big capacitor. But yeah. What I'll probably do is shorten that positive lead, take that shrink wrap off, and just run it. I can just run it at a diagonal into that pad. I'll be good to go. Woo, man, challenging build. Thanks for hanging, friends. CiottiFPV.com. Million different ways you can support me. I love every single one of you. Here comes some flying. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Cinewoop Wednesday. What I want to try to do is get a bunch of this build done so that Wednesday, Cinewoop Wednesday, we finish it. We'll see how tomorrow goes. I do build a lot faster and better when I'm not on the live stream. So hopefully that I could just knock this out tomorrow. All right, thanks for hanging. Here's some flying. No audio. Hold on. I gotta restart the stream. Be right back. There we go. The tune was all banged up because the motors were all banged up. Love ya. Be good. Bye bye. Later. Are you really? I'm on 7.